In August 216 BC, Rome brought its largest army in history to crush Hannibal in open battle. By sunset, that army was nearly gone. At Cannae, Hannibal Barca did not win because he had more men. He had fewer, roughly 50,000 against Rome's 80,000. He won because he understood exactly how the Romans would fight, and he built a battlefield around that predictability. The Roman army was a battering ram, powerful head-on but blind and brittle on the flanks. Hannibal turned that strength into a death sentence. Rome had already been humiliated twice, at the Trebia River and Lake Trasimene. Their answer was mass. This time, they would not be outmaneuvered. They would simply crush whatever stood in front of them. Hannibal did not hide his numbers. He put his weakest troops exactly where the Romans expected to make contact, dead center. These were his Gallic and Spanish infantry, relatively lightly armed, positioned in a deliberate convex arc curving outward toward the Roman line. On the flanks, held back, anchored, he placed his best, the heavy African veterans. Equipped with captured Roman armor, they knew Roman tactics from the inside. His elite Numidian cavalry covered the left flank. His heavier Iberian and Gallic horse massed on the right. Rome's commanders made a critical error. They ordered the maniples packed tighter than standard doctrine. The goal: maximum crushing weight through the Carthaginian center. That decision turned 80,000 soldiers into a weapon pointed directly at a trap. The Roman advance began. Their mass collided with Hannibal's Gallic and Spanish center, and the center gave way. This is the moment everything depends on. That retreat was not a collapse, it was a performance. Hannibal had drilled his center to yield slowly, deliberately keeping the line intact while appearing to break. Step by step, the convex arc inverted. It curved inward, like a bowl filling with the entire Roman army. The Romans did exactly what they were built to do: push. They compressed, shoulder to shoulder, tens of thousands of men surging forward into tighter and tighter space. The deeper they went, the less room they had to swing a weapon, the less room they had to turn. They thought they were winning. The battlefield was narrowing around them, and they called it progress. That bowl was now a pocket, and the pocket was closing. On the wings, Hannibal's cavalry moved. On the Roman right, the heavier Iberian and Gallic horse broke through Rome's allied cavalry, then immediately wheeled. Not to pursue, not to plunder, they swung behind the entire Roman formation. On the left, the Numidians had pinned Rome's other cavalry long enough. The returning heavy horse crashed into them from the rear. Rome's flanks were gone. Now the African infantry on both sides pivoted inward, like two doors slamming shut. The Romans had cavalry behind them, veterans pressing in from the flanks. A retreating but unbroken center in front. There was nowhere to go. Men could not turn. Swords could not swing. Some soldiers were being crushed by the pressure of their own army pushing from behind. Hannibal had not just trapped them. He had turned them into their own executioners. The killing lasted most of the afternoon. Roman losses are recorded at between 55,000 and 70,000 in a single day. Among the dead, senior commanders up to 80 senators, over 200 knights. The field army that was supposed to end Hannibal's campaign ceased to exist. Cannae is not remembered only because it was devastating. It is remembered because the design was complete. Every part of the plan made the enemy's own behavior the weapon. Hannibal did not overpower Rome. He engineered a situation where Rome overpowered itself. Cannae became the benchmark for envelopment warfare. Schlieffen explicitly used it as the template for his own strategy, what he called a super Cannae. The U.S. Army War College still uses it as a foundational case study in how encirclement works, and, critically, when it fails. The lesson is not about ancient warfare, it is about system design. A force optimized for one mode of combat becomes predictable. A predictable enemy can be engineered against. Hannibal lost the war. Rome survived, adapted, and outlasted him. But at Cannae, he handed military history one of its cleanest principles. Power is not enough. Shape wins. The deeper we go, the more the picture shifts. Stick around for what's next. Hit subscribe and stay locked in. Hardware of peace. Weapons explained. Power revealed. No politics.